morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. And today, well, we need to have a bit of a chat, right? Because we've talked about a lot of new cards over the past couple of days. But amongst all of the new cards, we actually had a bunch of announcements about the theme decks and a bunch of other products that have been confirmed for the upcoming Rebel Clash. Now, I did a video about Rebel Clash just a few hours ago. Remember that it is the new expansion of the Pokemon trading card game. It is coming out in May. And whenever we have a new set like this, we also have to have a whole bunch of promos and boosters and all of that. So let's take a look, shall we? And we might as well start off having a little bit of a look about the theme decks. And well, the theme decks are kind of cool, right? They feature Zacian and Zamazenta. Now, they're not new. They were both... We got the Pokemon Vs of them back in the Sword and Shield base set. But, of course, we had the first partner Pokemon as theme decks. We couldn't have had Zacian and Zamazenta. Probably about right. We have Zacian and Zamazenta now. And as a side note, this actually fits perfectly with what happened with Sun and Moon. With Sun and Moon, we saw that the theme decks for Guardians Rising, which were, of course, the second sets, yeah, they featured Solgaleo and Lunala. Oh, look at that. Look how that worked out. First partner Pokemon for the first expansion, box legendaries for the second. Cool. So, Zacian and Zamazenta, now we've had a few of these, but the ones that are actually coming out in this set have not been seen before. We don't have time to go into a huge amount of detail in this video, but the Zacian for 1 metal, 1 colorless does 30 damage and attaches a metal from your discard pile to it, and for 2 metal, 1 colorless does 120, and flip a coin if tails, discard 2 energy. The Zamazenta for 1 metal, 1 colorless, does 30 damage and takes 20 less during your opponent's next turn. And for 2 metal, 1 colorless, does 120, and flip a coin if tails, next turn it can't attack. Clearly we can see there that they are parallel Pokemon that are designed to be a little bit of a pair. So that's kind of nice. They're not phenomenal Pokemon, if I'm honest with you. We've had some really good theme deck Pokemon in the past. These I don't think count among them. But it's quite nice, and it'll get a bunch of kids picking up the theme decks. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we really want? Obviously, we don't have full set lists for the theme decks as it stands at the moment. You know by now that as soon as we do, I will make a video showing you all of them, and we can get all nice and excited at that point. Cool. But along with the theme decks, we are getting free pack blisters, where you get a blister pack, and in that blister pack you get 3 packs of cards and a promo. Hence the whole free pack blister. And these are cards we've seen before. These have actually been promo cards over in Japan, which means I have done videos about them. I will link those videos in the description. Having a little bit of a look at Duraludon then, you got 130 HP basic Pokemon, which is pretty beefy. Incidentally, this was how we learned Duraludon was a basic. This was revealed before the games are out when we assumed Duraludon was going to be a stage 2. This was what told us it wasn't. Free energy, 70 damage is fine. 4 energy, 150, 40 to itself is fine. In a world where we've got Arceus and Dialga and Palkia, this is actually a nice little tech because it will get a one-hit KO on fairy Pokemon like Gardevoir and Sylveon, though admittedly that is seeing a fairly dramatic decrease in play since Sword and Shield has come out. And you're playing Metal Energy anyway, and you're accelerating energy, so, you know, it's an alright little metal Pokemon. It's not great, it's fine. As for the Rayquaza, this is a colourless Pokemon. It's one of the things that makes us worry that Dragon Pokemon are gone forever in the Pokemon TCG, because it's not a Dragon type, and we've not seen any dragons so far. Now, 130 HP on a basic again is alright. 2 colourless energy, 30 damage during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon cannot retreat. So it's one of these classic do 30 damage, stop your opponent retreating kind of attacks. It's alright. Again, it's not phenomenal, but we will have Twin Energy by this point. Twin Energy is 2 colorless energy when it's attached to a non-Pokemon GX, non-Pokemon V. When it is attached to a GX or a V, it becomes 1 colorless energy. Which essentially means that for this, it functions in the same way as a double colorless energy. You've got a basic Pokemon. So what we essentially do here is, oh, it's early in the game. I don't have anything else going on. Let's do 30 and stop my opponent retreating. And this is better than we thought it was the first time we saw it. Because, of course, the first time we saw it, we didn't realize we were going to be getting Twin Energy back. So it's alright. It's a nice little card. And of course, there's no point getting 3-pack blisters if we're not going to be getting 1-pack blisters. Okay, there totally is, but still, they always get revealed at the same time. And we have a 1-pack blister featuring Noctowl, and we have a 1-pack blister featuring Mantine. Now, the Noctowl here is really good. Like, really good. It's been a fun little rogue deck in Japan. It's not been kind of a top tier, gonna be wrecking the format kind of deck. But make no mistake about it, it's still a very, very nice card nonetheless. It was actually in Sword and Shield. It's not a new card. It is an alternate art reprint of a card that we originally got back in Sword and Shield. 2 colorless energy, 40 damage is not good. But 3 colorless energy, shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon into their deck, and shuffle this and all cards attached to it into your deck is really good. You use triple acceleration energy, which would fall off at the end of your turn, except you're shuffling this card into your deck so it doesn't fall off at the end of your turn. And then what you're essentially doing is just throwing up a blocker, maybe something like Lily's Pokédoll, getting rid of all of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and then when your opponent is out of bench Pokemon, you bring up a big attacker to finish the game. We've seen this played with stuff like Snorlax VMAX and Blacephalon GX. Really nice rogue deck over in Japan, and for what it's worth, I don't think it's close in terms of artwork here. There's not to say anything bad about the artwork from the Sword and Shield one, but the artwork on this one is so over the top, phenomenally beautiful. It might be my favourite piece of artwork from the Sword and Shield expansion so far. It is, as far as I'm concerned, that gosh darn good. Now, we're also getting a Mantine, which for my money also has better artwork, though it's not quite as good. It's alright. 1 water energy, search your deck for up to 3 water energy, reveal them and put them into your hand. If you're playing a Frostmoth deck, it's not terrible early game just to get a bunch of water energy into your hand, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's some amazing card that's going to transform the metagame. It's nice, it's cool, I've seen a tiny bit of play for it, at least in Japan. It's fine. There we go. It's alright. Now, with a new set, we also do need an Elite Trainer box, and in lieu of any obvious candidates, we actually see the Elite Trainer box here focused around Copperaja V Max, which I'll be honest, I would not have predicted. Now, we've not actually seen Copperaja V Max. We've seen Copperaja V, I did a video on it yesterday, I'll pop a link in the description. I think Copperaja V is really good. 3 energy, it does 90 damage and reduces damage done to it the following turn by 90. And then of course you would use Lucario and Melmetal's GX attack and whack a Metal Frying Pan on there, not Metal Sorcerer as I've said in a video recently. They're both metal kitchen things, alright? Sorry. And then what you're basically doing is 90 damage plus taking 90 less from attacks while you've got a Pokemon out with no weakness. I cannot be the only person that thinks that's going to lead to a fairly nice tanky deck. Copperaja VMAX? We haven't seen it. If it's not revealed earlier, it will be revealed on Friday. As soon as it is revealed, you will be getting a video about it. You have me word on that. Come on, that's the way I roll at this stage. But I'm a big Copperaja fan. I think Copperaja is one of the coolest new Pokemon that came out in Sword and Shield. So if you're telling me that we can get an Elite Trainer box focused around it, it's probably going to be the first one I've bought for my own use because I love the Pokemon, as opposed to just buying to do an opening or whatever. Maybe ever. It's the most excited I've been for an Elite Trainer box, so that's kind of cool. And then in terms of booster packs, yeah, we've got Cinderace, Inteleon, Rillaboom, and Toxtricity. We know we're getting 7 VMAXs in the set. I told you that in a video earlier. We know that these are 4 of the VMAXs we're going to be getting. Incidentally, the others are Copperaja, who hasn't been revealed, but we've been told we're getting it, Dragapult, who has been revealed, and 1 mystery Pokemon. So if there is a particular VMAX you're crossing your fingers for, again, it will be shown by Friday at the latest. It might be shown earlier. But if there is a particular Pokemon for which you're crossing your fingers, you've got essentially 1 chance. So I suppose cross your fingers really hard. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the promo cards and theme decks and all of that from Rebellion Crash, or Rebel Clash, as it's called over here. Rebellion Crash in Japan, Rebel Clash over here. And at this stage, I'd just like to know your opinions on all of this. Are you hyped for the Elite Trainer box like I am? Do you think that Noctowl artwork is as gosh darn beautiful as I think it is? What can you tell me about your thoughts and feelings and opinions? Go nuts in the comment section, but please remember the rule. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are absolutely brilliant nonetheless. I don't cover games I don't like. That would not be fun. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would you? Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.